Good people, I finished another book in less than a week. It's Shoe Dog. Now, I know I'm on a 52 books and 52 weeks thing, and that's cool, but I really don't think anybody's gonna mind me finishing books earlier. But I want to talk about Shoe Dog, man. It's about Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and the struggles and the adversity he went up against to be one of the, if not the biggest apparel brand out right now. Um, it goes through his entire life pretty much, from the onset to the idea he had to faking the fact that he had a company to being in debt and everything else, man. The overall theme I got from the book is, regardless of what you're up against, regardless of what you have going on, you got to push through it, man. Even when you're uncomfortable. The book talks about all the time about how uncomfortable he was selling things. He tried to sell encyclopedias. He tried to be an accountant. He tried to do all this other stuff. But you got to persevere through everything you have going on, man. I respect and admire him so much for everything he did. I did not know any of this. I knew none of this about Nike. I knew none of this about Phil Knight. And the thing I like most about the book is he didn't glorify like who you would have thought he would have glorified. Like, I would have thought this book would have been all about Jordan, all about like Tinker Hatfield and all those guys, like the Air Max and the Jordan, all those or whatever. The Cortez, spoiler alert, the birth of the Nike Cortez, the classic Cortez, is in this book. It's here, people. But he glorified more of the relationship aspect with the athletes in Nike than he did the celebrity status, if that makes any sense. He had like some personable relationships and experiences with these people. It also talks about how building a team is not always focused on what you think it's focused on, people. Because if you look at the people at Nike that were the founding fathers of Nike, they were non-athletic, man. It was him and one other guy that was athletic. The other guys were not. Some of the guys were big like me. I'm a big guy. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am a big guy. I'm a woolly mammoth. I'm a big guy. But the book is exciting and it seems very authentic. It's a good read. It's not just a business book on entrepreneurship. It's an actual personal development and self-help book. It also gives you the opportunity to look into somebody's real life situations, from living in debt, from being kicked out of two banks, from being laughed at, from being told that they wouldn't make it. We're talking about Nike, and two banks kicked Nike out. You know, people didn't want to invest in Nike. And again, we're talking about Nike. I don't know who you are, where you are, but I'm pretty sure you've owned a pair, or you know somebody that's owned a pair. As far as where I come from, in the neighborhood I grew up in, Nikes are iconic, especially the Cortezes. Like I said, they're in here. For everybody who knows me and knows where I'm from, you know why I'm so big on the Cortez. They're in here. But yeah, it's a great read, man. One point you have to pull from it is, regardless of what's in front of you, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what's going on, man, press forward. Don't give up. Even when everybody thinks it's crazy, even when everybody thinks you're doing it for nothing, even when everybody thinks you should be doing something else, don't give up. Don't stop. I'm so glad I took time away from my business schedule to read this book. Like I said, I'm on a 52 books and 52 weeks thing, but I read this in 3 days. I couldn't put it down. It was just like the $100 startup. I couldn't put it down, man. I actually hope he writes another one with all the Jordan and everything else, LeBron James stuff, and I hope he does write another one. Now, like I said, they're in here. It's mention of them in here, but it's not focused solely on them. If you want a book about the intricacies of entrepreneurship and personal development, this is the book for you. If you want a book about real life situations from real life billionaires who actually struggled to get where they are, this is the book. I mean, he takes you from Oregon to Japan to the Himalayas. He takes you to Taiwan. He takes you to the East Coast, back to the West Coast, back to the East Coast, back to the West Coast, from being sued, from being the FBI being involved. He takes you everywhere in this book, man. Everywhere. And it feels like Phil Knight is actually talking to you. So that's my opinion of Shoe Dog. If you don't own it, go get it. You have to go get it. I almost want to gift this book to somebody, but then I would be depressed because I wouldn't be able to grab it whenever I wanted it. So I'm kind of selfish with books. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to do a book giveaway one day. I just don't know when because I'm selfish when it comes to my books. Anyway, that's my review on Shoe Dog. If you don't have it, go get it.